Hello and welcome to the video. Today we will be talking about postpartum shedding. When I had my first child a few years ago, I wasn't too bothered by the possibility of losing my hair. In fact, I wasn't even on a hair journey. On occasion, I'd heard people complain that they'd lost chunks of hair, but I just thought it was, like something out of the ordinary. I didn't think it would ever happen to me. Man, was I wrong. Fast forward a few years down the road, and I'm a healthy hair convert with precious cargo, a bun in the oven, as some might say. When I got to about 7 or 8 months pregnant, at that point, I started worrying that it was actually a possibility that I might have some bald patches in a few months. So I delved into being proactive by researching ways to dodge that particular bullet. Last time I shed a little light on the fact that while it's not the norm, there's some women who lose their hair during pregnancy. What most persons may be familiar with is postpartum shedding, or losing hair after your pint-sized tenant exits the mothership. It's bad enough that your body goes through 9 months of the extraordinary feat of nurturing life and surviving as a portal to this world. But then to find out 3 to 6 months after the grand entrance, you have to deal with rapid hair loss. Really? Well, that's enough to frustrate anyone, especially when you've been good about doing all you need to do to retain length on this healthy hair journey. No doubt there's some of you going through this right now. Well, let's focus on some ways you might be able to go about fighting postpartum shedding. What are the causes of postpartum shedding? I have already mentioned that not everybody experiences postpartum shedding. For those of you who have and will go through this, it's important that you understand that it's not uncommon. So don't think you're becoming a freak of nature if all the lush growth you've developed during pregnancy starts coming out by the handfuls. What happens is the anagen, aka the growth stage of hair, often accelerates during pregnancy. More hair follicles actually become active during this time, and the normal daily shedding that would take place is drastically slowed. This is why during pregnancy, the hair often gets thicker and longer. Also, around this time, the hormones are high, and this accelerates growth as well. Postpartum shedding often sets in anywhere from 3 to 6 months after you've had your baby, and its effects can last over a year. Remember that during the 9-month pregnancy stretch, little to no shedding takes place. What happens is that your body returns to normal hormone levels. The hair growth cycle kicks in and says, hey, it's been a while since I did some cleaning. Hence, most of the extra hair follicles that came into operation during pregnancy start to let go of the hair that they should have shed. The thing is that with regular daily shedding, hair is often released a little at a time. With postpartum shedding, however, the problem is that it happens all at once. There seems to be a drastic release of hair instead of a slow and measured periodic effect that you get with normal everyday shedding. What makes matters worse is that you can go for days and it will seem like every time you breathe, you have handfuls of hair falling out everywhere. That's when you notice the thinning. What should you do about this? So, prior to delivery, number one is stay calm. Now, I know this is easier said than done. One way to calm yourself, though, is to be informed. Once you're informed, remind yourself that stress will only make the situation worse. It also helps a tad if you remind yourself that it will grow back. And unless your hair and scalp are severely damaged, you will not go completely bald. Number two, know what to expect. You may have seen scary pictures showing huge bald patches all over the head. But bear in mind that most postpartum shedding usually occurs at the edges, the widow's peak, temples, and nape area. Knowing this can assist you in that you can alter your styling choices to limit excessive hair loss in some cases. In cases where loss is still a bit much, you can style your hair in such a way that it covers the affected areas. Some women use this as an opportunity to change up their styles altogether. During and post-pregnancy. Number 1, use low manipulation styles during pregnancy. Anything that's going to put stress on your roots or your hairline should be avoided to be on the safe side. While it may not prevent postpartum shedding altogether, it can certainly limit the number of follicles it yields when it's time to shed. Hair that's pulled and strained will definitely go, so try styles like loose twists, bantu knot-outs, wash and goes, and buns that are not too tightly pulled. Remember to follow up with these low manipulation styles until your hair gets back to full strength. Number 2, do tea rinses. Tea rinses are great for cutting down and preventing excessive shedding. If you don't already know, educate yourself on what the different types of tea are good for when it comes to hair care and use one of them in your regimen. Number 3, ramp up your diet with 70 to 80 grams of protein per day. Remember that the structure of your hair is made up of 91% protein. Your body will be working overtime trying to stay healthy while you nurture your newborn. You really don't want to have a protein deficiency because if you do, your body might just draw it from your hair, and you know that spells trouble. Number 4, boost your vegetable and fruit intake. What you put inside your body will be even more beneficial at this time, so don't try to focus on what hair product to use. Remember that the follicles are fed from the food you put in your mouth. You will need to ensure your blood is pumping with those extra vitamins needed to nourish yourself and the baby, and still have enough left to nourish your hair from the inside. Number 5, work on balancing your hormones. Since it is the drop in hormone levels that's fingered as a culprit in excessive shedding, see about finding ways to gradually rebalance your hormones. You may find answers in whole food plant-based diets or supplementing with vitamins when necessary. Some women have found that a tweak in their diets contributed significantly to fighting postpartum shedding. For instance, drinking nettle tea 3 times weekly and taking maca root, as well as continuing prenatal vitamins, has been shown anecdotally to work in that regard. The nettle helps in milk production, hair growth, and skin rejuvenation. Remember, though, that herbs can have varying effects on different people, so it would be wise to research how these work and consult a professional before jumping in headfirst. Number 6, do not abandon hair growth stimulating oils. Castor oil is a popular one that people swear by when it comes to maintaining or growing in thick, healthy hair. During the pregnancy, an oil rinse each week or at least once a month could be beneficial. Applying your castor oil to the affected areas after pregnancy is also encouraged. Number 7, use garlic to limit shedding. This can be some garlic paste or garlic juice that you make or commercial garlic shampoo. Here is my own experience of postpartum shedding. This picture here was taken 5 months after my son was born, and as you can see, I barely have any edges, and it looks absolutely horrendous. In the next picture, it's 6 months later, and my edges have filled in quite nicely. All I used was my own oil mix, which includes castor oil as the main ingredient. That's it. So here's to hoping that you don't have to go through postpartum shedding yourself, but if you should, I hope you make a quick recovery. Leave us a comment on what your experience has been with postpartum shedding. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, and a sub to the channel would be amazing too.